الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه الذي أرسله رحمة للعالمين ليخرج البشرية جمعاء من ظلمات الكفر والضلال إلى نور الإيمان والهدى. فاللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الكرام وكل مسلم تبع هداه واستمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين، ثم أما بعد. فيا عباد الله، يرحمني ويرحمكم الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بالتقوى فقد فاز المتقون. إن الله تبارك وتعالى وصانا قائلا: وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب. وقال آمرا: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. قال رسولنا صلى الله عليه وسلم: اتق الله حيثما كنت وأتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن. معاشر المسلمين, respected brothers and sisters, in the last, or yesterday to be precise, many Americans, and I have to say including many Muslims, celebrate so-called Thanksgiving. The question always arises in the minds of many Muslim brothers and sisters: is it okay, is it permissible, or is it not permissible to take part in this type of celebration? I'm not here to give fatwa, I'm not a mufti, but I'm here to open your horizon and to knock your conscience so that you can learn more. But let me begin by saying that in Islam, always we look into what are beneficial and what are harmful to us in any issue in our life. So let me say, number one, and particularly for my young generation, brothers and sisters, that anything that you do, try to understand it. Because oftentimes you do things that we don't know the philosophical or historical or social context behind it. So what Thanksgiving is all about? It was began in 1621, basically, here, not far from here, in Massachusetts, or to be precise, basically a part of Connecticut. It was a celebration to thank God the Almighty for the harvest. And in the beginning, it was attended by 90 Native Indian Americans and 53 those who call themselves as pilgrims. So imagine when the Europeans came to this country, they called themselves pilgrims. Like when you go to Hajj, we call ourselves pilgrims. So only 53, while 90 participants happen to be Native Indian Americans, Native Americans. But as days and times, years passed, those white become privileged. And this celebration had become as a celebration of, sorry to say, becoming more negative and negative, and then the celebrating of victory against the Native Indian Americans. Those who came here as a privileged Europeans, they took over people's lands, they planted, they became successful, and they celebrate. So it was just a slide, briefly, as a background of that celebration. Now, we as Muslims, what do we have to do? First, we have to understand that this is not religious at all for many Americans, and I think all Americans at the moment. It's a part of traditions, a part of culture, a celebration, social, national celebrations. Now, when it comes to the Muslim community in America, we have also to know ourselves that we are an integral part of the society. And when it comes to the culture, one thing we have to know, number one, Islam, whenever it comes to any locality, it doesn't demolish local cultures. As long as, I have the word as long as doesn't contradict with the principles of the faith. And that's why when you see the Muslims around the world, socially speaking, as human beings, you see them very diverse. You go to India or Bangladesh and Pakistan, you have those cultural things affiliated with them. You go to Indonesia, they have their culture affiliated with them. You go to possibly Hispanic countries, Latin Americans, they have their own cultural identities. You go to African, you see Muslims are living their life socially, they have their own cultural identities. Islam doesn't come and abolish any local cultures of the people. And that's why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came to declare this, I remember this one. Innama bu'ithu li'utammima makarim al-akhlaq. That indeed I am or have been sent not to demolish, not even to replace, but to perfect, to complete the nobility of human character. And a part of that human character is our culture and traditions. So when I come to the issue of Thanksgiving, it has become a culture of American people. And being Muslims in this country, we cannot say that it is not allowed in our faith. It is a part of human culture. But, I say again, but, with one big note. Number one, we have to understand the philosophical context and social context or historical context behind it. So that when we do it, we have a clear mindset about it. Because my brothers and sisters, there are sometimes a radical stand. And we say that it's wrong, it is haram, it is not allowed, and looks like those Muslims are doing it, has committed a wrong, a big sin. Sometimes I consider that extreme view. So what we have to do here, brothers and sisters, is understanding it and taking it and instill in it, put something in it, Islamic values. So I can say we have our own Thanksgiving in Islamic way. So what does it mean, Thanksgiving in Islamic way? This might be a controversial statement, because I use the word Islamic Thanksgiving. Maybe some Americans don't like it, and also some Muslims, to be sure, don't like this terminology. Number one, let's see. Thankfulness. What is Thanksgiving? To give thanks. Those people, when they celebrated in the first time, they wanted to thank God the Almighty who gave them an opportunity to live in a new land. Now, for Muslims coming to this country, we are coming here, either you acknowledge or not, we are coming here for betterment. To have a better life for ourselves and our generation. So that's sufficient enough also to say, Allah, thank you so much for being a part of this society. And taking part, as long as I understand that this is not doing it in imitating the people, that I'm doing it because I want to thank my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what's wrong with that? So brothers and sisters, even if you do it, is the point. Even if you celebrate, you do it for your own and the way and your own way. That's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just to give you one example, when he moved to Medina and he saw the people did fast on the 10th of Al-Muharram called Ashura, and they asked the people, why do you fast? The Jewish people particularly. And they said, because this is the day when Allah saved Musa from Fir'aun. And he said, نَحْنُ أَحَقُّ بِمُوسَى مِنْكُمْ. We have even more right to celebrate it because we feel we are closer to Musa than yourselves. So he commanded the Muslim, he ordered the Muslim to do fast on the 10th of Muharram, but not to imitate them. So what he said, fast a day before it. What does it mean? Sometimes we judge that every single thing that people are doing are wrong. Not necessarily. But we are doing it not because we imitate them. We are doing it because we have our own value. We are doing it because we have our own purpose. Now coming to the issue of Thanksgiving here, my brothers and sisters, believe me, either you are strong, what you consider yourself, you are so strong in your faith, your new generation have different views than ours. Believe me. The young generation who are here today, they have their own mindset. And if you're trying to impose your own ways, they are going to different ways from you. And that's why nothing we can do except trying to engage and make it more valuable according to our own faith. So what is Islamic Thanksgiving? Number one, understand that it is a command of Allah in the Holy Quran. Ushkuruni wa la takfurun. Be thankful to me, do not deny my favors. La in shakartum la azidannakum wa la in kafartum inna adhabi lashadid. This is our intention, to implement the ayat of Allah. We thank Allah, but not only on the last Thursday of November, every day. So our Thanksgiving is every day. Every day, every time, every month. Before eating Bismillah, after eating Alhamdulillah. Before sleeping, Bismika Allahumma ahya, we wake up, Alhamdulillah lil ahya. Everything is Thanksgiving for us. Because Allah is commanding us in the Holy Quran to thank Him. Number two, we do it according to the values and the teaching of Islam. So number one, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By what? By humbling ourselves to become more closer to Him. That's why al-ibadat that we do, my brothers and sisters, are all intended to appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me repeat once again. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wife Aisha was amazed and said, Ya Rasulullah, why you have to do all these, the sign of sujood on his face? Ya Rasulullah, why you have to do all this? You are prophet, you are guaranteed paradise. You don't commit any sin. The answer was, Afala akunu abdan shakura. So thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by becoming closer. That is Thanksgiving for Muslims. Every time, every day, every week, every year. There is no oxygen goes out and goes in without thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the Thanksgiving for Muslims. So number one, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my young brothers and sisters, number two, thanking your parents. Thanking your parents. Let me just tell you this openly. How many of our kids were born here, educated here, have become successful? And sometimes, whether you acknowledge or not, you have that sense, you have that mindset that you have become even better than your parents. No. Be humble enough. No matter who you are, and no matter who your parents are, your parents are still your parents and they deserve your respect and honor and dignity. That's why in the Holy Quran Allah commanded us several times. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيْكَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about His blessings, and then He emphasized the role of the parents. No matter who you are, your parents have sacrificed unconditionally loving you. Everything has been sacrificed for you. So loving, respecting, dignifying your parents are a part of that thankfulness and thanksgiving. Brothers and sisters, imagine that the worst sin in Islam is shirk. Inna shirka la dhulmun azim. And if any parents, not only that they try to persuade you to be mushrik, imagine that, the parents try to make you mushrik. Not only persuading you, but force you to be mushrik, you can imagine how worse that person is. What Allah says in the Holy Quran, وَإِن جَاهَدَكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِي مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. If they force you, not only try, but they force you to be mushrik, the Holy Quran says, لَا تُطِعْهُمَا, don't obey them. But the Holy Quran says, وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. You still have to respect them. You still have to honor them. You have to accompany them nicely and kindly, obediently. You have the right to say no to your parents. But even in time that you say no to your parents, say it respectfully. That is the meaning of being dutiful to the parents. That is the meaning of thankfulness to the parents. That is the meaning of thanksgiving to our parents. By respecting them, honoring them. Don't ever have that sense, even slight, that you have become better simply because you are born in America, you are educated in Harvard University, Oxford University, and then you feel better than your parents. You cannot pay them back. That's why, my brothers and sisters, in this Thanksgiving Day, the second level of that Thanksgiving is thanksgiving to our parents. Go back home. Bow yourself to your parents respectfully. It's a part of our honor. And by the way, I talked about culture in the beginning. I saw that some, back home in Bangladesh, and I hope this is not to imitate the Indians or Hindus, they sometimes bowing to their parents. Even if you do that, do it as a respect and honor, not because you imitate anybody. It is a part of, like Indonesian people, when they shake hands with the parents, they kiss hands. It's a part of respect and honor. So the second level of thanksgiving, according to Islam, is thanking your parents. It is very important. Number 3, thanksgiving for us is appreciating our fellow human beings around us. Whoever doesn't appreciate humans around, he doesn't appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why appreciation, we are so happy to see that many Americans are inviting unfortunate people going out serving turkey. That's good things to do. There's nothing wrong with that. And Muslims must do that. Nothing wrong with that. It is a day of family also coming together. And even the president of this country went to Afghanistan serving the army. And I think it's a good thing to do too. I hope it's not only political. But my point is that it's very important to appreciate humans around us. It's a part of appreciation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In time that you have the opportunity to give. Even just a turkey. For Muslims, we love lamb. So slaughter lamb, distribute to your neighbors. It's a part of the appreciation. Being kind to others, my brothers and sisters, is an essence of the teaching of Islam. It's fundamentally commanded in the Holy Quran by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأَحْسِنْ كَمَا أَحْسَنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ. And be kind as Allah has been kind to you. How Allah had been kind to us without any limit. Allah had been kind to the Muslims who believe in Him, who obeyed Him. But Allah is still kind to those who did not believe in Him. Allah was kind to Musa. He gave him everything that he needed according to his capacity. But Allah was also still kind to Fir'aun. He gave him food. That is our view of kindness. So being kind is not only to Abdullah and Muhammad, but also to John and Mark. And that's why Allah gave us a blessing living in America, an opportunity for us to translate the meaning of kindness in Islam. That kindness is not only to Muhammad and Umar, but also to Mark and John, to everyone else. And we have to tell that American people. So that American people understand that this is the real essence of the teaching that we believe in. Islam is not hate. Islam is not animosity. Islam is about being kind to everyone else around us. My brothers and sisters, so Thanksgiving is something that we Muslims, according to our own value, of course, also must do every time. We must thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Thanks to have role on us, our parents, particularly our teachers, our mashayikh, who taught us the values of life. And we thank our spouses, husband and wives. Wives, thank your husband. And husband, appreciate your wives. You can imagine Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, he's everybody. He's everything, I mean. He's the statesman. He's a president of the king. He's a commander of army. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a father, is a husband, is a businessman, is a teacher. He's everything. And so Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "Khairukum khairukum li ahli, wa ana khairukum li ahli." The best among you is the best to his spouse, and I am the best to his family, to his spouse. It's a part of Thanksgiving, by learning how to appreciate our spouses, because believe me, my brothers and sisters, and again, especially my younger brothers and sisters here, I know you have these so-called American values, and sometimes, you know, there are a lot of positive. The freedom, independency, intellectual capacity, broad-mindedness, all these beautiful things in America. But sometimes we are getting out from the limit. And in the name of freedom, we are becoming lacking of that interconnected, including interconnectedness between husband and wife. It's funny things. Sometimes I observe this American spouse going to the restaurant, and at the end, they get the bill, and they calculate it, they calculate. And the husband getting the wallet out, the wife also getting the wallet out. Because both of them must divide the fish. Brothers, you know, this is your husband, this is your wife. When you become a husband and wife, you are becoming one body. Kunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. So with all positive, you know, things in America, it doesn't mean that we have to take everything without any reservation, my young brothers and sisters. We must appreciate the positives in America. But it doesn't mean that we have to take everything without any reservation. Husband, appreciate your wives. Because sometimes we feel that we are husband and we tend to decide everything else without any consultation to our wives. Rasulullah consulted his wife. Even a very crucial moment. Imagine when Rasulullah ﷺ in Al-Hudaybiyah, a very crucial moment. Many Sahaba, including Umar, imagine Umar, he loved him dearly. But at that time Umar said no. He didn't want to listen to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And Muhammad ﷺ consulted the closest people to himself, and that is his own wife. We need our wife. And sometimes we feel we don't need our wife in taking decisions in life. That is a part of Thanksgiving, my brothers and sisters. Appreciate the people around us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open our minds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله واستغفر لعلها ساعة إجابة. Unfortunately, my brothers and sisters, in Al-Islam, when you say Thanksgiving, everything is about spiritual value. It's about building on the faith, on the basis of faith. So we appreciate it. Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's about faith, iman. We appreciate our parents not only because of social value, not only because we have to do so socially, but because we have to do it because Allah wants us and His prophets want us. So there's a religious value here. And we do appreciate the people around us not only because we want to be considered socially nice, kind, good people, no. I don't care sometimes when people want to praise me or not, but I care about the pleasure of Allah. So we appreciate people around us not because we want to please them, but more importantly because Allah wanted us to be kind to people around us. And there is a religious part of that. Unfortunately nowadays, what's so-called Thanksgiving have taken away the values. You can imagine what's so-called the Black Friday. On Thursday night, I think, people are camping in front of the stores. And believe me, those so-called discount, you know how many dollars that you save? But you get out early from your houses, this cold weather, just to spend your money because you feel that you want to buy something. Basically not because you need it. That is because of, I'm sorry to use the a little bit harsh word. It has become a social ill, sickness. That sometimes you feel that you are sick if you don't go buy something. Because the television, the media has poisoned our minds. When everything is advertisement, 70% discount, 50% discount, 30% discount. And sometimes you save only $30 or even less, and you get out early from your house early in the morning in this cold weather, and sometimes people fighting. Brothers, we have a big television already in the house, just simply because there is something else that people say, oh, this discount, that you have to force yourself to go to buy. That is called materialism, my brothers and sisters. And materialism had poisoned our minds and lives. And here, Muslims, in this country, and in the Western society, must prove that our presence in this country and in the Western society is to bring a better situation. To change, and that is the meaning of Rahmatan lil Alamin. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. To teach American people that yes, you can be celebrating your Thanksgiving, but it doesn't mean that you have to undermine the value that's supposed to be respected. Materialism has degenerated down people, that be bringing down the people. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we Muslim community, be protected always, that we know our values. We can do something better, inshaAllah ta'ala. Allahumma ya Rabbana, laka alhamd. ولك الشكر كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سبيلا من اهتدى. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك ويا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا لطاعتك. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وأقم الصلاة.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.